Okay guys, welcome back to Saturday Maintenance. We're doing a review on the air compressor Ingersoll ran. I do believe the number is SS5L5, single stage, not dual stage, single stage air compressor. We've had it for almost 4 years, and I got a question here the other day, beginning of last week I think, and they want to know if it still ran. And it actually does still run. The biggest things with these were they had some really serious, really bad reviews on them, and there's more of them out there than you'll ever have on good, and it's due to one reason and one reason alone, which is how it was built. Uh, Money wise, it was perfect for us to take it home and also be able to fix it before we actually started trying to run it like the bad reviews were coming up. So I'll cover that and we'll get into that. So let's get into it, man. Alright, the number one issue with this whole entire air compressor is right here. This is a contactor switch. What happens is what it does when it gets to a certain point and pressure wise, the contactor gets up and starts to close and allows the power to actually kick on from here to the motor, from the switch down there through here and into the motor to get it going. Alright, the switch itself isn't actually built all that well. So you may get maybe a couple of good little starts with it, and after that the little contactors themselves will start kind of buzzing and burning on the inside, and the next thing you know your motor won't actually work like it should be, or you're starting to unpower your motor. What happens here is that as it keeps doing that, it causes so many problems that the contactor switch itself actually doesn't work anymore at all. So basically shuts the whole air compressor down. This is the number one problem with this thing here. It has been from the get-go. Now, why they won't fix this, I don't understand. I've seen a lot of people replace these switches. I've seen one guy replace it up to 7 times. I don't know what the hell he was thinking, but you go right ahead if that's your route. These switches, I think when I checked them, average anywhere from $25 to $75, depending on what brand you buy out of them. The way I get around this and how I wanted to get around this was basically just jumping up to another stage. The contactor switch in here is all I wanted to do was turn it into just what it really is, a switch. By turning this into a switch, once the pressure hit a certain area in here turning the switch, it sends a signal from here now. Instead of going from here to here, now it goes from here to a bigger switch, which is in behind here. This next stage here is heavy enough to take and handle the power, what's going on with the air compressor, but this allows it to last a hell of a lot longer. So basically sending a signal from here to here now, and then that signal sent to the motor to send the power to it. Now, I've had no issues with this box. I've actually bought it online. There was a company that was specializing in this, and these switches are very easy to find. They're not that hard to hook up with, and there's even some videos out. I don't remember the video that I covered on this, on what the group or the people were, but they were selling this. I think I gave like $60 for this thing, this switch here. So the air compressor itself, when I bought it, was under $1,000, and by the time I bought the wiring and everything I needed, the switches, I think I had maybe $1,100 tied up into the whole thing, and this was 4 years ago, guys. I don't know what they cost. I'd hate to see. And this air compressor did come from Tractor Supply. I will say it did come with a 60-gallon tank. The tank hasn't leaked yet. I'm going to kick myself in the ass for saying it probably, but it hasn't leaked yet. It does have about 25 feet of line on the bottom of it here. It's hooked into the drain area. The reason why I have 25 foot of line on the bottom of it is if when water does build up inside the tank, instead of it running into the tank, it'll run into that 25 feet of line here on the bottom. And it slowly gets into the bottom of it. And as it builds up in there, I have a hose on the other side of here. I just simply walk around and empty out the water when there is any in here. And there is none at the moment. So, wintertime, running dry. This is a single stage air compressor, so it only holds around 130 psi is what it wants working pressure area. So it operates between 90 and there most of the time. It's not a dual stage. I don't want a dual stage. I don't need anything over 200 psi or way up there, 175 psi. I don't need that pressure. I'll be blowing hoses and most of my tools up because everything I do use is generally fairly small, but I use it continuously, so I need it to build pressure up quicker. A single stage will actually outperform a dual stage at a certain psi. That's why I bought it. You do what you want to do on that. Still has the original filter in it up here on the top. They came with it. I just took it out and cleaned it. The oil, you have to run their oil in it. It's kind of, I think it was like $25 for a quart of oil. You change it like once a year. Been using their oil like I'm supposed to use it. I did find out where their oil came from and who actually made their oil. I think it was Blue Coral or Blue something. I can't remember who it was. But that was the actual oil. It was just as expensive buying it from them as it was from these guys by the time it's over and done with. But so it's like a really, really good synthetic oil that goes in it. I haven't made many upgrades on here. Haven't had any issues with anything else on here. Everything just works like it should, pretty much. I'll let you hear it run. I'll take and dump the air out real quick. Get around the 100 mark, it should kick on. Still has the original belts on there as well. Does not have a very long charge time on it. I do run a separate tank on this. From time to time, if I'm doing like a lot of sanding or something like that, I have another additional line here that comes off of it, and it feeds a different tank over here. It has its own lines as well over here. And there, I did do a review on this guy here as well. We bought it the day that we bought the air compressor. I think we give like, man, it was like 40, 50 bucks for that hose reel. It wasn't very expensive. Might have been a little more than that. It came with like I think it's 80 feet of line on it, somewhere around that area, and it's still running to this day too as well. So if you had seen that on there, the hose reel, the hose, actually everything's still on there like it should be. We did upgrade the ends to it here. Trying to remember who actually made these. Worth made them. They were a non-scratching type of connector. They worked really well, so we purchased these. You hit the side of your truck or your boat or something, they don't scratch up very well. But she's still kicking. Looks fairly new. I've tried to take care of it. Okay. Oh God, I guess all in all, I'd say it's been a fairly good little air compressor. Haven't had anything really bad to say about it. As long as I change the oil and thing like I'm supposed to, which I try to. I try to keep it out of the weather as much as I possibly can. It does run a lot right there by the door when it is raining. When it is rainy weather, not much I can do about it. Then you can do what you got to do. If it sucks in a little bit of water, that's his damn problem, not mine. But but it is what it is. I guess all these days it's really tough to trust. On anything these days. What you buy is on you. I don't trust many men or women to build things today compared to what they used to back in the days. The only thing I believe in is myself, my Lord Savior, and go from there. If you put in a hard day's work, I guess you get anything done right. So always go on your own reviews and your own self and your own instinct on anything you buy. And if you put your heart in, I believe you can find anything you want and do anything you want. So y'all have yourself a good evening. I'm gonna sit here and drink me a couple beers. I'm gonna cut me a couple steaks on the grill, and we'll holler at y'all next go around. Enjoy yourselves. Yeah, man, anytime you're cooking corn on the grill, man, always remember you got to turn it. See? You turn it like that. Cool.